Christmas, everybody. I hope that this video is finding you all well and having a bit of a break and having some time to sit down and relax and enjoy a few things. My gift to you is I'm going to recite some of Grandma's diaries from right around Christmas. So it's taken a little bit of preparation to get this ready and to figure out exactly how I'm going to do this. So first of all, I have a new microphone. So Mike has set up the new computer that has taken us about a year to even wrap our head around doing this because we really let that slide for so long. We should have done it years ago. And this is what my new microphone looks like. So the one thing I have to be careful of though is the page turning noise and the thumping of the desk. So I'm going to try to do better. I recorded 1972 first, and I got a little bit of noise, so I'm going to try to correct that for the rest. Anyway, I have all of Grandma's diaries here from 1968 to 1995. This is me starting to get ready and organized to do the Christmas diaries. So I've got all of Grandma's diaries laid out. Lots of other things going on in the kitchen. And it's looking fairly Christmassy around here. Hey, Rocky! Rocky, where are you? And this little dog is hungry. Should I be giving you your pieces? Are you a hungry little fella? Oh, is it time for supper? Okay. And I'm going to read December 24th, so Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, so that we can see what Grandma and Grandpa were up to back then. So let's get started. Rocky, are you ready? Mommy's going to read a story. I think he's waiting on Supper. December 24th, 1968. 15 degrees. Got the final things done for Christmas. Went to Bob's to open presents and had chicken and buns and salad. Had a good Christmas. Wilbur's, Bob's, and Gary, Vi and Bill, and Vern. Big 25-pound turkey. Baked 12 hours at 275, done to a turn. I don't think I know what that means. Nice day. Snowed a bit. 20 degrees at night. Got the final things done for Christmas. Made buns and Oreo dessert in the evening, stuffed chicken, and watched Christmas program. Lovely day, 0 at night. Had Vern for Christmas dinner, went to Bob's for supper. Had them and Mrs. White and Gary for coffee. Then McNabb's came, talked late. 1970, blustery, 0 at bedtime. Made candy and got the final things done for the big day. Dad hung his pool rack that Bob made him. Oh, nice bright morning. Turned to snow in the evening. Had breakfast at Bob's. McClellan's, Vern, and Wilbur's came for supper and lunch. Mary phoned. Went to bed late. 1971. Cold and breezy. Left for L'Atelier at 4 p.m. Road's good. Shirley got home from Winnipeg after supper. Mona and Shirley went to the midnight mass. 12 below 0 at night. Up at 8 a.m. to open the presents. Had dinner at 5. Ed and Audrey and Ian came too. Played rummy after they went home. (1972) I'm handling a little bit differently. There's a story that needs to be told in a little bit more detail that happened in 1972. This all came about 2 years ago when I was doing the video called Home for the Holidays. Last year I did the one on the United Church. So this was from the year before. And see if you can remember this discussion that came up with Auntie and Dad. Take a look. So I'm going to bring this up because I think, Auntie, you have that little children's table and chairs.
Yes. Oh, yes, I have those.
Okay, so what I want to mention is when I was reading Grandma's diaries right around that time, she mentioned how Bob would go over to their house to work on the table and chairs because it was a secret for Christmas morning. I don't know if it was from Santa, But I remember the year we got that cute little table and chairs that was painted orange, of course, the classic orange.
Yeah.
And then I think that table and chairs ended up at your place, Auntie.
You know, and I love it. I use it a lot. But I'm thinking, you know, like when I'm gone, you better be thinking about who should be getting that, because I don't know who should be getting that.
Well, they're darling. That's a darling little set. And to think that was made with your hands is really sweet. And I remember a picture of me with a little radio and in our pajamas, hair all messed up. And the year nobody forgets is when Karen got the Mrs. Beasley doll.
Yeah, yeah.
You pull the string and Mrs. Beasley would talk, and that was an absolutely memorable, beloved little doll that everybody knows about.
Right. So listen, Bob, you need to think about that. And so that I can write on the table, like put a note on the table, like, you know, because my family won't know what to do with it. They'll, you know, they don't.
I should write up a little history on that.
You definitely should.
Get it to you.
Yeah. So today, Mike and I met up with Dad and Barb in Airdrie. It's December 20th for our early Christmas that we chose to do at our favorite meeting place, the Halfway Point in Airdrie. I am now in the possession of this little table and chairs just for a short time before it goes to Manitoba to be with Karen. And one of the things that I never realized, and it says it in the diary, and you'll hear me read that entry, that table and chairs was made for Karen and I because we were the youngest. And Karen knew that, but I did not know that. I thought it was just for the MacArthur kids, like just for us 4 kids. But I guess Karen and I would have been the smallest and maybe the most appropriate age for this little set. So in the diary, much like the machine shed that I was able to do, you get to hear a little bit more about Dad going over to Grandma and Grandpa's to work on the table and chairs. And the other thing I wanted to capture by reading a little bit longer is that leading up to Christmas, there's quite a bit of preparation with baking. And something we don't hear about that much anymore is writing letters and getting Christmas cards ready. And, you know, things like that. So I'm going to start reading starting on August the 1st, kind of right around the beginning of harvest and where the garden is ending. And the storm windows, I'm sure, are going to come on at some point. And I'm going to read right up until the end of the year. And then I'm going to show you a little video that I took of the table and chairs just since I've had them home. And I'm going to do a side-by-side picture of me sitting on the chair now. But in the picture, I was turning 2 and Karen would have been turning 5. So this little table and chairs is 52 years old. And right around now, this time of year, it was being constructed for the big unveiling at Christmas time. So I don't know if they were from Santa or if they were from Dad and Grandpa. I don't really know how that went. I'm envisioning probably Santa. I don't know. But they're really well constructed and they're super cute and they really bring back some memories for me. So let's get going on 1972. August 1st. Picked and froze Swiss chard. Went to hayfield with Elgin when he had a flat tire on the baler. Then it rained and ruined the hay. Bob's came home from Moon Lake at 6. Did beet pickles. Picked peas for Colleen. After supper, Elgin and I picked raspberries at Dew's. Elgin got the new steps and rails up. Did chickens for Mary and Gordon. Made 2 lots of rhubarb jelly. Shortened blue blouse. Bob's picked choke cherries. Mary and I went to Morden, got eyes tested, and called on Renska. In evening, went to ball game, called on Roy's, Jack, and Hazel. Picked beans and peas in the morning. Mary, Bonnie, and Lynn and I went to Shirley Gerbrandt's shower. Mary and Bonnie went to McNabb's in the evening. Went to church. McClellans were here for dinner and picnic supper. Eric stayed and Lynn went. McNabb's called in on the way home. Rained hard, 1 inch. Rained out the Star Mound picnic. Washed, ironed, and mended. Went to Finley's in the evening. Mr. Wattram's and Helena's last night. Picked peas and beans, cucumbers, and a few strawberries. Got our first tomatoes today. Elgin fixed back door and sanded steps. Eric and Wayne went to Rock Lake Camp. Went to Pilot Mound in the AM to Kay Baker for hair, $12. Went Miller's 50th supper, and at home, Keith and Marilyn's. Made angel cake and pumpkin pie for Alice. Made 4 pies for us. At night we went to the ball game. Pilot Mound versus Snowflake, 9-4 for Snowflake. Mrs. White came to dress the chickens. Oh, dress the chickens. Very classy. Helped Mrs. White dress chickens till noon. Bob, Mrs. White, and I went to Terry Hill to pick chokecherries. Ethel Dew came. Wayne and Eric came home from Rock Lake. Bob played at Balder. Rained during the night, made jelly and bread, picked peas, went to town for groceries. Bob went to McClellan's. Elgin on summer follow. Went to church in the morning. Lynn and Kit Avery came for supper. We went up to Star Mound. Bob's got home from McClellan's. Made chokecherry jelly, washed and ironed. Dennis and Vi and Bill called. At night, took Ethel to Notre Dame to visit Janet. Went to Morden, took Ethel to Dew's. Got my glasses and shopped for Ethel. Men worked at making silage. Picked and froze cauliflower, Swiss chard. Went to town for supplies, helped Ethel with the clothes. Men worked at silage. Men worked on barley silage. I took Ethel home and to the doctor. Had supper at Finley's. Visited Lillian in Crystal City Hospital. Went to town. Hoed flowers. Made strawberry dessert and left for Oxbow at 7:50 p.m. Bob played at Brandon wedding. Fairly hot, rained in late afternoon. A lot of trouble calls for Gordon at night. We had barbecued steak for supper indoors. Made pickles, washed and baked, went downtown. Elgin went with Gordon in the morning. We made cabbage rolls. Had early supper and left for home at 5:35. Came through rain most of the way. Had stomach flu all night and in the AM washed and ironed. Alberts brought Rita, Barb, Gordy, and Sherry over to call. Men worked in the shop. Made cabbage rolls in the AM. Took Nellie to flower show in PM. That could be Pilot Mound. Had supper at Bob's, mowed the lawn, and made Vern's jelly after men fenced another field for the cows. Took out 2 loads of garden rubbish, went to town. Pearl, Mrs. Scott, and I went to Jean Smith's in the evening, worked in the garden, and made juice for Vern. Elgin started swathing in the evening. Colleen, Karen, and I went to Hannah in the AM. I froze corn, and Violet, Carol, and family were here for supper. Elgin swathed, and Bob worked on the combine. People are starting to come for Bob's corn. I think it was $1 a dozen. Got crab apples from Pearl and did them. Bob's went to L'Atelier. We rototilled up the garden in the evening. Bob played at L'Atelier wedding. Made 2 coffee cakes. Went to Lil's, took 1 and a pie and flowers. Men getting ready for harvest. Bob's got home at noon. Bob played at L'Atelier wedding. Went to church, took flowers. Cleaned big windows in the AM. Had a 2-hour sleep in the afternoon. After supper, picked corn. 110 ears in all. 110 ears in the freezer. Washed and ironed. Had Ada Hoffman for dinner and supper. Took her to Pilot Mound at night. Called on Jessie. Baked cookies for Lil. She and Marilyn came to call. Went to ball game at night. Snowflake won by 3 over Morden. Combined. Went to Crystal City. Bob got his tractor home. Did 9 pints of crab apples from Pearl. Men baled straw. Went to town. Made apple drink and spiced jelly. Transplanted violets. Men baled all that is threshed. Canned Vern's apples for him. Also 14 quarts of tomatoes for us. Men electrified more pasture in the AM. Combined oats after dinner. Bob played at Geddes' in Pilot Mound. Mary and children came for dinner. At night, Colleen and Mary took children to show in Manitou. Elgin swathed. Mary and I talked till 3 a.m. Bob played at Swan Lake. Went to church. Men fixed pipe under the sink in utility till 4 p.m. We were invited to Bob's for pork supper. Washed. Had McNabb's for dinner. Dressed a rooster. Canned 7 quarts of tomatoes for Colleen. Dorothy and Buff came to watch hockey game. Went to Judy's to get navy suit altered. Canned applesauce for Vern. Men combined and baled. Rained off and on most of the day. Elgin painted all the storm windows and I canned 7 quarts of tomatoes for Colleen, 6 quarts of applesauce for Lillian. Canned 7 quarts of applesauce for Lillian. Mona came at 3. She babysat for Bob's. Elgin painted green in utility and worked in the shop. Mona and I took applesauce to Lillian's, made tomato juice in the afternoon. Elgin swathed in the afternoon. Bob played at Shiloh. Mona and I went to Morden for the day. Mona and Colleen went to Manitou to the show. Bob played at Miami. Went to church, then to the ball game at Morden. I took vegetables for Bowden's, watched play in the evening. Made cabbage rolls and cleaned up the corn patch. Went for eggs at night. Men baling and working on the land. Tractor broke in the evening. Men hauled tractor home and started taking it apart. Washed and ironed. Mona read her book. Men worked till 10 at the tractor. Men finished taking tractor apart in the AM and ordered repairs. Elgin took out fence line. I started cleaning storm windows. We took Mona to Morden in the evening to meet her parents. Went to Judy's and to town. Ripped a dress. Cleaned 4 storm windows. Men cut hair in the evening. Worked on tractor most of the day. Shot 2 skunks. Men fenced corn patch. Bob went for repairs for the tractor. I washed and pressed blouse material. Made tomato juice and pickles. 7 storm windows. Shot 1 skunk. There's a skunk epidemic. Men combined in the afternoon and evening. I took Ethel H. to Crystal City and Pilot Mound. I got my hair done and brought Homer home. We all went to church, took it easy all day and visited with Homer. Watched TV in the evening. Men started combining early at 4 and worked till 11:30. I took Homer to the cemetery and took up all my old glads and showed Homer our pictures. Men got cattle in the corn. Washed and ironed and did tomato juice. Bob picked stones. Roy worked on our land. Elgin cut grass. Homer went to Taylor's. Took in 4 boxes of tomatoes. Froze cauliflower. Bob started to sow rye and then finished combining barley. Men combined wheat until 10:30. I got in my roses and more tomatoes. Pearl and Rita came for tomatoes. Men finished the combining, all but Elgin's 25 acres of wheat. We ate dinner in the field. Bob played at Morden. Elgin swathed his wheat. Bob lost 2 cows and butchered 1 and 4 more sick from corn. Eileen, Ruth, and I went to Morden Taylor Bazaar. That is exactly the time that Rob and Dad spoke about having to process those cows in the barn because they got in the sweet corn. And that was September 22nd and 23rd of 1972. Went to church. Bob stayed home. Elgin is laid up with sore back. Got in my geraniums and more green pumpkins. Washed, ironed, and canned tomatoes. Planted 45 geraniums. Elgin in-house with sore back. Bob worked on getting repairs on the tractor. Elgin still is using heat lamp. Bob putting tractor together. I transplanted cactuses. We watched hockey, Russia and Canada. Went to Crystal City to the doctor. Elgin had x-ray and pills. Bought pink pajamas. Defrosted fridge in the evening and played 2 hands of canasta. Bob worked on the tractor. Dorothy and Buff came to watch Canada win against the Russians. Elgin, Elsie, Myrna, and I went to Manitou to Mission Festival. Bob returned Bud Hanford's tractor and did some cultivating. Elgin and I canned 14 quarts of pumpkin. I went to town for shopping. Kept Karen and Eleanor in the AM. Had Bob's over for supper for Elgin's 74th birthday. Bob worked on the land. Bob played in Morden. I went to church. Bob's went to Sand Hills in afternoon. McClellan's brought Jake and Jean Friesen for supper and evening. Washed and ironed, vacuum car. Babysat Karen and Eleanor while they went to Winnipeg to see concert. Took Pearl, Eileen, and Myrna to Morden to hear Dr. Eva Modio. Good speaker. Mended 4 loads of wheat. Took Elgin and Lillian to Dr. Howell. Called on Mrs. Hogland. Baked bread and cookies. Bob finished combining. Went to UCW. 10 attended. Dug my dahlias and took away all the flowers' junk. Bob and Colleen took up half of the potatoes. Went to town. Made 6 quarts of tomato juice. Have done 50 quarts and chili sauce. Kept Karen and Eleanor for music lessons. Bob played at Treehorn. Cleaned and put on 4 storm windows in the AM. Bob left for Swift Current at 9:30. McNabbs came for dinner. Mary, Bonnie, and I went to church. It was nicely decorated. McNabbs had Thanksgiving supper at McNabbs and came here for the night. McNabbs had dinner here and left at 1 p.m. I washed and ironed and had Pearl, Fred, and Harriet Humston for the evening. Bob's got home at 6:30 from Saskatchewan. Dug our carrots. Went to the lodge to visit Aunt Nora and Ethel Dew. Made angel cake in the evening. Bob combined for Dale. Got rained out before he finished. Cleaned windows and did curtains. Mr. Burr came to visit all afternoon. Bob hauled out wheat. Elgin, Nellie, and I went to Morden and back by Crystal City for x-ray plates. Made out, eat in order, and played canasta. Elgin and I went to Morden, had lunch at Albert's, back by PM, called on Jesse, and home by Crystal City. Elgin is putting ice on his back and hip. Bob played at Miami. I kept Karen and Eleanor in the AM. We finished taking up potatoes and carrots. Bob and Wayne baled 2 loads. At night, I babysat. Went to church and entertained Ken and Jesse for supper. Also, Tom Davell and wife and Mr. and Mrs. Miller from Windhorst. Washed and ironed and went to get ready for the bake sale. Got in cabbages. Bob went to combine flax at Bud Hanford's. Elgin went to Morden for treatment. Baked all day for the bake sale and pies for us. Bob went to Bud Hanford's and finished the flax. Elgin kept busy with the ice packs. Had a successful bake sale, $90 taken in. Bob put potatoes in the bins and watched World Series in the evening. Elgin and I prepared and cooked 11 quarts of pumpkin. 10 for Joyce. Bob and Colleen bailed after dinner. And Wayne helped after school. We watched baseball in the evening. Men cut hair after. Washed kitchen walls and did curtains. Elgin went to Morden. We went to Lariviere, fowl supper. Finley's came after to visit. Dale came to combine sunflowers. We kept Karen and Eleanor in the morning, cleaned 2 windows outside, listened to the World Series. Bob played at Mariapolis. We went to church, then watched the last game of the World Series. Baltimore winning. Went to Nellie Glenn's in the afternoon. Mrs. White and family came to Bob's. Washed and ironed, cleaned big windows and 3 storm door windows and north cellar window. Lynn took chicken pox. Bob worked on the land in the afternoon. I drove Elgin to Morden for treatment. Got new blue walking shoes. Got in ground for spring plants. Bob finished sunflowers. Elgin went to church meeting. Bob worked on land. Also put the last 4 storm windows upstairs. I washed utility room and went to town. Went to Dorothy's for a hair set and house cleaned the bathroom. Went to Lil's in the afternoon. Bob pulling up cut straw. Left for Morden at 9 a.m. Had a terrible trip. Got home at 2 and went to UCW bake sale and lunch. Poor crowd on account of the bad roads. Bob played at Balder. Kept Karen and Eleanor in the AM. Junior choir went to Taylor home in the afternoon. Cleaned my kitchen cupboards. And baby sat at Bob's in the evening. Bob played at Pilot Mound. Went to church. Had Mr. and Mrs. Burr and Anna Marie for dinner. Read and took it easy after. We went to vote in the AM. Then washed and ironed and packed a box of rags for the rag drive. Did I say that right? Wayne home with stomach flu today. Eleanor drank 1.5 ounces of perfume. Took her to the hospital. I kept Lynn and Karen. We only had 4 Halloween callers. Went to Bob's for coffee after. That was October 31st. I think I owe my siblings an apology for ruining their Halloween. Mom said she never could stand the smell of that perfume again after they made me throw it up. Went to Morden, took Pearl. Elgin had his 7th treatment, got a nice house coat, had lunch at Finley's. Washed outside of kitchen cupboards and cleaned silverware, went to UCW in the church. Kitchen, 9 present. Bob played at Boisevane. Went to Crystal City, then Hillman's for dinner and supper. Got my hair done in the afternoon. In the evening, we played canasta. Kept Karen and Eleanor in the AM. At night, Karen took the chicken pox. Elgin took Wayne for his music lesson. Bob played at Shiloh. Went to church. Had Jean and Bill Smith for dinner. Karen and Eleanor took the chicken pox. Wayne got a watch for his birthday. Cleaned the coat room, made mincemeat and pie tarts, also 3 pumpkin tarts. Went over to see Wayne's birthday presents. Colleen went to Tupperware party at Jones. Babysat Karen and Eleanor from 9:30 till 4 p.m. while they went to Morden. Bob got a new suit. At night, Elgin and Bob went to the official board at Snowflake. Canned 7 quarts of pumpkin for Colleen. Had Vern for dinner. Went to dentist. Only my teeth cleaned. Had a visit with Millers. Elgin went to Morden for treatment. I washed and ironed. Babysat the children after choir practice. Did our kitchen and utility room floors. Wilbur, Lillian, and Mark came for the evening. I made buns today. Bob played at Carberry. Made coffee cake. Got things ready to go. Men exchanged haircuts at night and Colleen came for coffee. Came to McClellan's for lunch. They had a lovely turkey dinner for our 47th. At 5:30, Ron and Robert and the girls were all home. Shortened my vest for my pantsuit. Myrna and George went to visitation. Myrna and George took us to the plane. Got into Toronto at 1:30, got a bus and then a taxi to Wynn's. Had a good supper, played bridge. Went to store for groceries. Wynn went to Mabel Harrison's funeral. I got the dinner and cleaned silver later and played bridge. Went to the store for turkey, cleaned more silver. After lunch, Mr. and Mrs. W. Watham came for us. Had a nice evening. John is taking a cold. Went shopping for birthday cake and helped Win all day to get ready for Kay's birthday party. 11 of us for a delicious supper for Kay's birthday. Bob played for a dance somewhere on the 17th and 18th, but she didn't say where as she was away on vacation. Got my hair done at Mrs. Waker's, $5. Helen and Milt came for us at 1:30. Went for a lovely drive, toured Science Center, had lovely dinner and evening. Had a nice day with Milt and Helen. 6 young friends called. We watched TV in the afternoon, had a lovely roast beef dinner. Mel showed slides in the evening. Snowed by morning. Vacuumed the apartment, went out for groceries after lunch, bought flowers for the house, played bridge in the evening on our last night here. Mr. and Mrs. Watham picked us up at 9:30 and took us to London. Also, Rita Newman, Helena showed us through the church, came to Kay and Dick's for supper and the night. Uncle Alf is here. Had a nice quiet day visiting. Mrs. Watham came for us at 5:15, took us to the Helena's to a lovely turkey dinner. Bon, Edith, Rita, 8 in all. Played cards after. Took it easy, washed fancy dishes. Kay and I went out for groceries, had lovely perch for supper. Played cards all evening. Elgin played mouth organ and records and entertained Uncle Alf. Left London at 10:20. We took the Wathams and Rita for lunch. Got to Wynn's at 1:30, played bridge, both afternoon and evening. Hair done at 9 a.m. Took taxi, $10 to airport at 12 p.m. 2.25 hours we arrived in Winnipeg. Took taxi to Bowden's, $2.75. Bill, Ardith, and Ernie went to Eaton's for supper. 20% off things. Bob played at somewhere. Stormy went to church with Florence and Bill. Ernie came in the afternoon for supper. I cleaned Florence's sterling from Aunt Wynn. Myrna Shirley came at 10 for coffee. Myrna came for us at 9:15. Spent most of the day shopping. Went to visit Merle McNabb at St. Boniface Hospital. Got home to McClellan's at 6:30. Myrna washed and I baked bread. Elaine went to St. Jean. We called on Ruth and Alex, played Scrabble late into the evening. Sent away our film today. I mixed bread. Myrna took Eric to doctor. Merrily home with stomach flu. We left for home at 3:15. Colleen had us for chicken supper. Washed and ironed. Went for walk at night. Bob and children went to choir practice. Elgin fixed cellarway light switch. Okay, we're on December 1st. Baked brown bread. Bought 30 pounds of fish at 25 cents a pound. Elgin went to town in the AM and to Hazel's. We started our Christmas letters at night. Tonight, Bob played at Emerson. Elgin took Wayne for music in the AM. Bob's took children to Crystal City to Santa Claus Parade. Hillman's came in the afternoon. We played canasta at night. Bob played at Carmen. Went to church. Church a bit cold. Elgin watched the Grey Cup, wrote letters, and I watched a play. Okay, this is December 4th, people. 1972. Cleaned a fish, wrote letters. Elgin started to make Karen and Eleanor's little table and chairs. Laird Mickle died at 75 years old. Elgin worked on the little chairs. Bob worked at the fence. Junior and senior choir practice at 7. Wrote letters at night. Got ready for UCW meeting here. Bob worked at the cattle yard. Elgin went to town twice and worked on chairs. Men exchanged haircuts and Colleen came for coffee. 11 present at the UCW here. Very nice Christmas program. Wayne and Lynn were here for supper. We took them to choir practice and visited Burl. Went to Manitou, then Jesse's for lunch. Got my hair done at 3:30. Violet's for supper. Went to Con Art and stayed till 12 at the dance. Bob played at Pilot Mound, Miss Canada dance. Elgin took Wayne for music lessons, then went to Roy Grains for 17.5 pounds of turkey, $9. Wrote letters. Bob played at Portage la Prairie. Went to church. White Gift Sunday. Wrote letters and watched Disneyland. Elgin noticed black spot on his eye in the afternoon. Washed and ironed. Elgin went to Manitou to the doctor. Addressed 21 Christmas cards. Bob's went to the dentist. I kept Eleanor. Elgin went to hospital for eye exam. I made coconut puffs for dainty sale. Made dainties and cookies. Elgin painted the clothes rack. Bob hauled out barley. Fixed 57 trays of dainties, 50 cents a tray, and 3 fruit cakes at $1 each. Made 40 buns. Kept Eleanor while Colleen went to Lil's. Went to Bob's in the evening to see slides. Elgin and Bob went to Manitou. The doctor ordered Elgin to go to specialist, left at 2:40, had supper with Shirley, and spent the night at McClellan's. Bob played at Somerset. Got up late, worked on Elaine's coat, had lovely fried ham for dinner. Took Elaine to Manitou to meet Donald. Got home at 5 p.m., made 6 pies after. Bob played at Portage. Went to church. After lunch, went to Wilbur's to see Gail, Bruce, Eric, and Christian. Wrapped the rest of the Christmas parcels. Elgin painted table and chairs. I made soup and cranberries. Went to Judy's in the evening to help fill out reports. Baked 2 pies and bread. Also made jelly. Elgin painted the table and chairs. The second coat. Bob's went shopping. We kept Karen and Eleanor's choir practice, both for junior and senior choir. Cleaned up the basement. Went to town for groceries. Got bread ready for dressing. Bob over here working on Wayne's racing set. I gotta see if I can find that picture. Getting ready for Christmas quite a bit over there. Made cookies. Dorothy came and set my hair. Went to Christmas concert with Bob's. Good concert and crowd. Washed and ironed. Cleaned a fish. Wilbur and Mark came to play pool in the evening. Cleaned the house. Cooked ham. Made pineapple dessert. Elgin went to town. McNabb's came to sleep. Went to Christmas service in the AM. Gordon and Mary came for lunch. Went over to McNabb's in the PM. We went to junior choir program at night. All over to Bob's to see slides in the afternoon. Okay, Christmas Day, 1972. Up to open presents with McNabb's at 8 a.m. McNabb's left at 2. We were busy most of the rest of the day getting ready for the crowd. Tomorrow, Bob's went to Winnipeg. Had 24 for dinner and supper. Myrna and George, Mona, Larry, Eric, merrily stayed. Also McNabb's. Had dinner for 12. McClellan's left for home at 12 p.m. and Gordon for McNabb's. Mary and I went for a walk and she did her washing. I cleaned a bit. Elgin took to stomach flu in the night, stayed in bed all day. Mary and Gordon went to Winkler and McNabb's. Made biscuits. Elgin went for milk. We went to visit Nellie Maxwell in the afternoon. In the evening, we watched a long play. Bob played at Walwanesa. McNabb's came and packed up and started out for home, but came back as it was too stormy. Bob's took the family skating. Last day of the year, December 31st. Went to church. McNabb's left for home at 10:30. I babysat at Bob's. Elgin came over to see the New Year in. Bob played at Pilot Mound. And by the way, Bob played for 73 dances in 1972. This is in an email from Dad when we were arranging for me to get the table and chairs. When we were at Oxbow last fall, 2023, Mary sent these items home with me. The table and chair set, I believe, were a Christmas gift mostly for you and Karen because you were the right size and age for them at the time. Your grandpa cut out the wooden parts, sanded and assembled them. I designed the table legs and metal frame and welded them together. After all the painting was done, I fastened the legs onto the tabletop with strong screws. Now, here's a little bit more of what the table and chairs looks like now. Okay, let's take a closer look. So these are kind of heavy and nothing's loose or anything. And this is what they got, how they got constructed. The cute little handle. Okay, and then when Dad was talking about the metal that he put on the bottom, so you can see this has been certainly used and enjoyed, right? This is the metal part Dad welded here and used the nails to attach them. And that's got a bit of weight to it too. So now I'm going to try to duplicate that picture. My bum was a lot smaller back then, but I sat on the little chair and turned my head. On another subject, I'm going to include the picture he sent also of the gout rocker. Now, I do remember seeing this at Grandma and Grandpa's, but I didn't know what it was. It was built by Uncle Ken MacArthur, and his wife Letha would have likely done the wood stain finishing. They made several of these and gave them to relatives and friends. You may not know about gout. It's a condition that causes swelling and pain in the ankles and feet, and one way to get relief is to keep the feet elevated while sitting to take the pressure off. Okay, back to the regular reading of Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So 1973, beautiful day. Left for Letellier at 1 p.m. Called in at Winkler Hospital. Mona and Gordon became engaged. Had engagement party after Mass. Got to bed at 3 a.m. And Mona and Gordon just recently celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary. Beautiful day. Had a lovely Christmas. Maninkles were here for the supper and evening. Gordon and Mona went to Brown's after breakfast. 1974. Nice day. Cleaned some cupboards. Ed Finley got home from hospital in Winnipeg. We were at Bob's for lunch. Nice day. Bob and Colleen and family left for Winnipeg at 11:15. We had a very quiet day with just the two of us. McNabb's arrived at 2 a.m. 1975. Beautiful day. Got my hair done. Elgin went to Manitou. We went to Hillman's, played canasta after supper. Then came home. We're to Bob's to open presents. Beautiful day. Left for Winnipeg with Bob's at 9:25 a.m. Got in 2 hours and 10 minutes. Left for home at 10:25 and got home at 12:30. 2 hours and 5 minutes. Had a lovely Christmas. Roads were wonderful. Helped Mary. Alan, Elliot, and family came in the PM. After Gordon was called out to an accident later, Bob went to Langdon. Mr. and Mrs. Don Needham and Alan came for Christmas. Nice time. The family gave us a toaster oven. Bob's to Winnipeg to Gary and Debbie's. Blustery. 15 below zero at bedtime. Cleaned up the house. Men fixing front end loader. We went to cantata in the church. Beautiful day. 8 below zero. Bob's left for Winnipeg at 11 a.m. McClellan's got here at 2 p.m. and also Elaine. I think I missed 2 diaries, although it seems familiar. So I think I read it and maybe I didn't hit record or I hit pause, but I'm going to have to redo them. I'm going to skip the weather, okay? So this is December 24th of 1978. Went to Christmas service, left for the McClellans at 2:35, had a lovely smorgasbord, then 11 of us to Altona to Christmas Eve carol service. Had a nice Christmas at the McClellans. Elaine and Paul went home in the PM. We played cards in the PM. Santa was good to everybody. 1979. Mona and Gordon left after dinner. We went to the Christmas Eve carol service, then to Bob's for Christmas Eve. Shirley and Robert left for Morris at 9:30 a.m. Bob to Winnipeg at 12:20. Larry, Elgin, and I had a quiet day, watched a good movie, and played cards. 1980. Went to Lariviere for haircut and set, then Manitou. Called on Everett and Eileen for a short visit. In the PM, went to carol service in the church. Went to Bob's at 3, got home by 10. Had a good time with Jean, Ben, Gary, Debbie, and Tyler. 13 of us. Phoned Mary, Myrna, and Aunt Wynn and Kay. 1981. Made bread and pumpkin pies for Mary. Mary sick since December 7th. Had a nice Christmas at McNabb's. Mary feeling a little bit better today. Colleen set my hair in the AM, made cookies, went to Christmas Eve song service in the church. Good crowd, wonderful music. Power off for 2 hours. Had a good day with the Tyndales. Bob's to Winnipeg, got home at 12:25, listened to Al Jolson's story of his life. 1983. Made dressing and salad dressing. The Christmas Eve service had to be called off. Wayne and Lynn came to play pool. Cheryl and kids called in with baking. Wayne and Bob called in the AM. I phoned Myrna's, Mary and Kay. Bob and Wynn, Jesse and Hazel. We had dinner and lunch at Bob's. Jean and Karen and Eleanor slept here. 1984. Made biscuits. Elgin went for the milk and the mail. We went to the Christmas Eve service. It was lovely. Good turnout. We had a nice time at Bob's. Jean and Ben went home at 8 p.m. Gary and Debbie stayed all night. We played cards. 1985. Had a wonderful smorg-style dinner at 5:45. 7 of us went to Christmas Eve service at Altona. Opened gifts after. Opened our stockings. After lunch, Elaine's and Shirley's left. Wayne and Louise got to Myrna's at 2 p.m. We had a lovely Christmas, Bob and Colleen's. Mary made cabbage rolls, butter tarts, and dressing. Spent a nice evening listening to records, etc. Had a lovely Christmas. Dale and Valerie Bennett were here for supper. Lots of presents. Mary, Elgin, and I went for a walk. 1987. Buff and Dorothy got us for dinner and took us to Bob's. We went to Christmas Eve service. Opened our gifts, had lunch. What a good time. Good dinner. Played cards. Bob and Colleen brought us home at 9:30 p.m. 1988, a little stormy. 0 at bedtime. Myrna and George brought us home at 12 a.m. Lynn and Ken and Eleanor were here for lunch. Left for Winnipeg at 2:30. We had 17 for breakfast. Opened stockings, had a lovely brunch. Shirley and Robert left for Godkins in the afternoon. Okay, 1989. I got to bed late and slept in. Tom came at 1 and stayed till 5. Had a nice Christmas dinner for him. Ken and Lynn came for me. We had a lovely Christmas with all the family home. 1990. We left Mona's at 11 a.m. Bought me a new dress at Ladies Style Shop. I called on my neighbors and took it easy. Wayne came for me at 10 a.m. We had a lovely Christmas, all with Bob's family. Got home at 11 p.m. 1991. Karen and Lynn came for me at 3 p.m. We went to Snowflake Christmas Eve service. It was lovely. Opened the gifts, left for Winnipeg at 1:30. Had a lovely supper at Gary and Debbie's. Bob and Colleen took me to Shirley's. Bonnie and Chris came for dinner, cabbage rolls for supper. Played 31 in the p.m. Cam and Val finally got to go to her home by 11 p.m. We had a lovely Christmas with too much to eat and lots of presents. Val, Cam for supper. 10 of us. Myrna and George phoned late in the p.m. Okay, this is the last diary. So this is from 1993 to 1995. We left for Shirley's at 12:30. Had a lovely time there, all there but Eric. Left Shirley's at 10:15 for Mona and Gordon's. Christmas Day. Had a nice day with the Browns. 20 for dinner, 22 for supper. Played game in the p.m. I brought a book and box of cookies. Got to bed at 12:30. 1994. Beautiful day. Myrna had everyone for lunch. Elaine's for early supper. Cheryl and Robin went with us to Altona to Christmas Eve service. And Grandma's last Christmas, which was December 25th, obviously, of 1994. Beautiful day. Went to Larry's to see children open their parcels. Left for Mona's at 3:45. Had a lovely Christmas with the Browns. Got home at 12:15. 26 of us for supper. So Grandma's last Christmas she spent at the Browns. How nice. So I hope that you enjoyed listening to some of Grandma's diaries. Our wish for you is to have a Merry Christmas. All the best in the new year in 2025. I hope it's a good year for all of you. And yeah, enjoy your day. Lots of love from Mike, myself, and of course, our little rock star. Look at what he sees. It's the picture on the goalie is blowing in the wind. Woof.
He's gonna keep an eye on him.
Oh, I should say the weather. Yeah, I need to say the weather. Okay. Starting again. Oh, 68, not 68 degrees. Shit, that's 1968. Oh, Emma and Mrs. White and Gary. Ah, shite. Men cut posts in the afternoon. Oh, I'm reading the wrong year. Son of a bitch. Okay, 71, Ellie. 71. We rigged up the garden. We rototilled? Yeah. Bob played. That can't be right. Trouble calls from Gordon at night. Let's wait for the clock. UCW. Oh, something home. Home or home? The Drive. I don't get it. Box of rags. Went to Morden, took Pearl Elgin. Went to Morden, took Pearl Elgin. Oh my God. Men worked on barley silage. I took Ethel home and to doctor. Okay, again with August 17th. Called on Ed and Evelyn. Ed and Eileen. Shit. You know, these names are really slowing me down. Bong, 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 bong. Everett. It's short for Everett. Ay, turning the pages. Had a lovely Christmas. Dale and Valerie Bennett. Fuck. The end. All done.